Hello, welcome to Research Methods. My name's Tom Webster. I am going to be your professor for this class. We're going to be going over different types of research methodology and also how you can get the best sort of research out of your searching. This video is going to get you kind of up to speed on the generals for this class. It is not a replacement for your syllabus, of course, but it is a good way for me to introduce some stuff. So who am I? I am the User Experience Librarian for Georgia Highlands College. I'm formerly a public librarian. I also have a background in video editing and journalism. If you can find me over in Marietta, I'm also bouncing over to Paulding. Feel free to stop by, ask questions, say hello. You can also contact me through the normal methods for this class, of course. So here's what we're going to be doing. You're going to have a document that you're going to be submitting. It functions kind of like a workbook. You're going to keep adding to it every week with every assignment, and I'm going to be giving you feedback as soon and as often as possible. By the time you're done, that entire document's going to basically have a roadmap to doing your final annotated bibliography. And be sure to read the feedback. I'm going to do my best to give you something that is to the point, but also constructive about your assignments. Sometimes if you're doing everything right, I'm just going to point out what you're doing right. But other times, if I'm trying to nudge you in a different direction, please pay attention to that sort of thing. If you've got questions, or if there's a delay, or if there's any sort of issues that's keeping you from doing stuff on deadline, let me know immediately. I'm happy to work with you and happy to figure out what we need to do to make this work, and we can reschedule stuff if there's something going on. So here's the big thing I expect. I want communication for this class. Read the feedback, like I said, and if you have a different direction than what my feedback has given you, let me know. We can talk about it. Work through it on email, through the phone, talk in person, any of that sort of thing, so that way I can understand where you're coming from. Like I said before, if there are problems, let me know as soon as possible. And if I'm making a mistake, I want to know about it. So let me know if I say something wrong. The other thing I want is your attention. Watch the lecture videos. Each video is going to probably inform how your assignments work, so keep an eye on them. Lastly, input. You're all going to be researching a topic. What I want is you to look up something that you care about. If you care about it, if you're excited to talk about something, if it's just something that you find fascinating. I had a student who talked about just literally why horses pin their ears back, because that's what she was interested in. We were able to get a lot out of that project just from something that you're interested in. I honestly would love to hear about your researching. So feel free to share stuff that you like, what you're interested in. So the reason for this class, beyond just basic research for science degrees, it's that as communication gets faster, misinformation gets faster too. Let's be honest. You don't need to be a research scientist to know how something might be a bad information source and all that. And so I want this class to be a good way of helping you recognize and develop some skills for dealing with all this stuff in the information age. For example, I've got a video right here that I'm going to play, and let's talk about it afterwards.
An ancient saber, heavy military sword with a long cutting edge and often a curved blade, was found by three brothers in Amanbayev, a village in the Talas region of Kyrgyzstan. The discovery of the ancient saber was announced by Seyitbek Ibraliev, a researcher at the Kyrgyz National Complex, Manas Ordo. The find was made by three brothers, Chingiz, Abdilda, and Kubat Muratbekov, along with Nurdan Jumanaliev, who have been actively involved in archaeology. Three brothers over the past year have contributed around 250 historical artifacts to the museum fund. The sword was discovered on June 4, 2023, and it is a gorgeous example of medieval art, making it a unique find not just in Kyrgyzstan but also in all of Central Asia. Its excellent craftsmanship and condition demonstrate the skill of blacksmiths from that time. The saber consists of various parts, including a pommel, hilt, blade, and guard. This type of sword originated in Iran in the 12th century and then spread from Morocco to Pakistan. Its curved shape suggests it may belong to a Muslim country, similar to Shamshir sabers found in the Indo-Iranian region. Known to Europeans as the scimitar, the Shamshir is the quintessential long sword of the horsemen of Persia, Iran, Mughal India, and Arabia. It scales primarily with strength and dexterity and is a good weapon for high dexterity characters who can excel at slashing attacks while spinning. A curved sword with a thin blade of ample length. Light of weight despite its larger size, its slicing attacks come in rapid succession. Such sabers were renowned for their sharpness and lethality. The brothers also found a 5 centimeters diameter vessel for melting metal and a coin with Arabic inscriptions on both sides. Such coins were used in Kyrgyzstan in the 11th century when the Karakhanid state developed. According to Sietbek Ibraliev, the tools used to melt metal and coins indicate that there were workshops for minting coins in the area. It is hoped that more swords resembling this one may be discovered in the area in the future, as the discovery offers fresh opportunities for archaeological research. Discover the most interesting news the world has to offer, from scientific breakthroughs to archaeological discoveries, on Quan 10 channel. If you like this video, please like and share it. Hope to see you again. Goodbye.
That was a video that was AI generated. It was an AI generated news video that took info from an article and just added narration. Only problem is the article itself was also AI generated, and ChatGPT just went with whatever it could find in the Google AI overview. The Google AI overview actually didn't give historical information about that sword. It instead gave the statistics for a weapon from Elden Ring, the video game. Now, this is one that's very obvious, and why I like pointing it out, because I think it's kind of funny. But the fact is that we have a lot of this sort of thing coming out there right now, and it's not always that easy to tell. So that's why we're doing this sort of class. The big project for this class is called the Annotated Bibliography. Now, this is not a research paper. I repeat that this is not a research paper. Do not feel the pressure to have to write a comprehensive research paper in 8 weeks. What you're putting together is just a list of sources that you think are good, that are within, the requirements of the assignment, but a list of good sources and a paragraph under each of them or more about why you think this source is good. We're going to go over what makes a source good and how you can find that. So don't worry, but basically just tell me why this is something you would pick for this topic. Explain why this is a good thing for research and all that sort of stuff. That's a very important thing when we deal with looking up research sources. Sometimes you can look at a paper and say, hey, this paper has a bunch of interesting academic sources. When you look up the sources, they're talking about something entirely different. So that's where your skills as a researcher come in. Now, there's also the final project. This is going to be the fun part. After doing your research, you can probably form an opinion on your topic. It doesn't have to be one where you have the definitive answer, but just something that you were able to take away from researching all this. So what I want to see is a creative work to show what you take away from this topic. Music, art, poetry, any sort of expression. That's going to be kind of a fun thing that allows you to share it with your classmates, and you all are going to be able to show off something that you learned from your research. This is, again, why I want this stuff to be things that you find interesting, because if it's interesting, then it's a cool thing that you get to share with people about stuff you like, which is always fun. But for now, take a look at the syllabus and go over what your discussion assignments and your workbook is going to be. If you need any help, you can always reach me at twebster@highlands.edu, and I hope you're going to have a good day.